been something that's been bothering me lately. Each time I see it, it kind of makes me a little upset. It makes me wonder, how can we as a community come together to change the thought process, shift the paradigm, and bring more people to this amazing activity. I've seen it time and time again. People, typically beginners, but not always, will get caught up in this mindset. They'll see on Instagram or Facebook people with all this fancy gear, and then they'll turn around and they'll make statements like, once I get my fridge, once I get my dual battery set up with the red arc solar power managed hoopla, then I can go out there and start doing the adventures like I see on Instagram. Or I wish I had that high-end gear so I could go on those trips too. Listen, gear is super, super fun, and I'm going to be a hypocrite if I say that it isn't. It absolutely is. And it's really easy to get wrapped up in all that hoopla and the shiny advertisements and things like that. And even I fall guilty to this trap from time to time. But I'm here to tell you, you don't need all that fancy gear to have an epic, amazing, life-changing adventure. In fact, over the years, I found that you really don't need much. And if we're honest with ourselves, a lot of the things that we think we need actually fall into the want category instead. But hey, stick it out to the end of this video, and I'll give you the 2 items that you actually do need to have an amazing, life-changing, epic adventure. Hey, before we get into this any further, I just want to thank you for sticking out this long in this video and hearing out what I have to say. And please don't hesitate to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you get alerted every time we drop a new video every week. Doing so helps us get these videos out to the people that enjoy viewing them, like yourself. So thank you so much for that. Listen, I cautiously make this video with a little bit of fear and a little bit of trepidation. If we're being honest, that I will offend some of you or downplay the importance of good quality gear. I also don't want anyone to feel attacked. So believe me when I say that the point of this video is pure from the heart encouragement and not one of finger pointing. Hey, feel free to continue this conversation in the comments below. I genuinely want to hear what you have to say about this topic, and let's get a good conversation going. Hey, I want to be fully transparent with y'all. I love gear, like a lot. I get wrapped up in it pretty easy. But I also subscribe to the theory that gear is important, but it should only serve to supplement your adventure and not be the gatekeeper for you going on those adventures. It shouldn't dictate whether you have one or don't have one at all. And I'm willing to bet that most of you have exactly what you need to start this activity in your garage right now. And if you're not, your Walmart's just down the road and you can get into it for a pretty minimal investment. Let's look at it this way. To go on one of these epic, amazing adventures, you only need a couple things and a couple boxes to check. Food, water, and shelter. And a way to get there. There's a couple more, but I'd hate to ruin the end of this video for you. Hey, before you start thinking you need a new rig, 37-inch tires, a lift kit, front and rear lockers, bed rack or roof rack with a super expensive rooftop tent, dual battery red arc managed solar power system, Dometic fridge, a Jackery 1500 to run the fridge, Scottle, or some other fancy cooking system with a couple $100 chairs sewn in. You don't need any of it. Believe me when I tell you, you can start this adventure with a cooler from Walmart, a 3-season tent, and a basic Coleman stove with a couple $10 chairs sewn in there for some comfort. You're good to go. Listen, if we take this approach, we take that setup, this lets us get out and do a couple things. So let's get out there and start chasing that adventure with minimal upfront costs, and it also eliminates some of the other external barriers that might come into play. Follow the channel for any length of time, you'll hear me say time and time again that there is something to be gained from building experience with the gear that you have and building up your gear set over time, knowing that those are the things that you want instead of just buying the fancy things that you see every Instagram overlander using. Not knocking it, I've done it too. It allows us to build up our kit slowly over time with items we know we'll use because we've gone through the process of figuring out what we need and gaining that knowledge through experience. There's nothing worse than spending a lot of your hard-earned money on a piece of gear that you've seen talked up left and right on Instagram or YouTube, only to find out you're never going to use it and it's going to sit on the shelf covered in dust and regret. By taking the time to use what you have, to build your skill with it and build your confidence with it, slowly adding to your kit or upgrading some of the gear that you might already have, you'll be confident in knowing that the higher end gear that you're going to purchase down the road will in fact supplement your adventure and not prohibit you or not fit your style and not be a shelf item. I mean, after all, overlanders do have the nickname overpackers, and it's probably not for no reason, right? And lastly, I highly doubt this one's going to come into play at all because I know how amazing this activity is. You can always sell some of those things that you bought for that minimal investment on Facebook Marketplace or something like that to kind of recoup some of your costs. Hey look, I want to be crystal clear on this. I'm not anti-gear. I'm anti-thinking that you need all the gear right now to even start your adventure. I am for investing in quality gear through time and experience you've determined that you need and will fit your kit. Like I said, gear should supplement your adventure, not be the gatekeeper as to whether or not you have one at all. Yeah, with minimal gear, you may have to modify your adventure in the terms of where you go, how far off the grid you go, whether or not you stay at a campsite or a state park or something with power and running water. Those things are okay, especially for the beginners. In fact, I encourage it. It allows us to kind of develop that confidence in what we're doing in our gear in a safe, controlled environment, and then slowly pushing that envelope to get further and further out and to get further and further remote. That's okay. Please don't lose track that this hobby can be whatever you want it to be for you. Don't get caught up thinking you got to keep up with the Instagram and the YouTubers out there that are displaying their highlight reel for you. You'll get there, I promise. Just take it slow, check your ego, and have a ton of fun, whatever that looks like. And hey, listen, if nobody's told you yet, I'm glad you're interested in overlanding. I'm glad that you're part of this community. I'm glad that you want to get out there and have a lot of fun with us. I'm always in awe of how welcoming and open-armed the members of this community are. And I have no doubt that you're going to find the same experience. To summarize, let's start simple. Let's take the stress off ourselves. Stop overthinking it. Use quality gear that you've determined through experience that you're going to need and want to add to your kit. And don't ever feel like you need all the things to get out there. And don't ever feel like you don't belong in this activity. You absolutely do. All right, I've babbled long enough, and I promised you at the beginning of this video that I would give you the 2 things that you need to start your adventures. And the good news is they're both free. And free $99 is my favorite price. Hey, the first one you need is just some confidence to step outside your comfort zone. And the second one is an unrelenting desire to chase adventure and explore the world around you. That's it. The rest is easy. I challenge you to start with what you have and slowly over time build up your confidence, build up your kit, and venture further and further out. But let's start simple. Let's keep it easy on ourselves. I promise that if you follow that kind of mentality, you won't regret it. And you're going to be a way better overlander than probably most of us. If you keep those 2 things in mind, there's no telling the places you're going to see and go. And I can't wait to see them on Instagram. Hey, thanks for hanging out with me. I realized that this was kind of an unusual video for what we usually do, but I think it's important enough to talk about. And I think that far too many people get caught up in the, I need this or I need that to even start, and you don't. Please just get out there. And to be super clear, I'm not anti-gear. In fact, I love gear. I love trying new gear. I love building my confidence with the gear that I have. And I think there's a lot of quality gear out there to be had that's going to fill the gaps of the setup that you already have, that's going to fit your overlanding style, and it's going to make your life so much easier and enjoyable on the trail. But please don't feel handicapped with what you already have. You can do so much with so little. Again, thanks for joining us, and if you really like this stuff, go ahead and start the conversation down in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about this stuff. Whether you agree or disagree, I'd love to hear it. I'd love to start that discussion, and maybe you have some gear recommendations for beginners or even advanced all the way through. Feel free to drop that stuff in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so we can get it out to you. We aim to shoot a new video and get it out to you guys every week. Until next time, guys, I can't wait to see you guys on the trail. Oh, you're not doing yourself any favors.